Branding helps you position yourself correctly in the mind of your audience. So your audience will see you in a particular way. So it's not how much you know, it is how much you show. But when you keep showing up at the different touch points of your target audience, they have no other choice. They will remember you. That's why they call it top of mind awareness. People want to connect
with you.
It's very, very important. That way you will build trust, you grow loyalty, and you would make more money.
Great. Let's start from the very top. From a layman's perspective, I mean, this word is no stranger to us. We hear it a lot. Branding. Even in the local palace here in Nigeria, we use the word effigy. I remember from back in the day, it was a local state phrase. You hear effigy. It still refers to personal packaging. So now let's start from the very top. What is branding? And can you give us specific examples from your own experience?
Okay. Thank you very much once again, Williams. Guys, this is Playmaker here. I just want to say this. There are two ways you can look at things in life. You can look at from the dictionary meaning, and you can look at the meaning, what it really means to you. So I'm going to state the two.
Okay.
Now, from dictionary meaning, branding is selling of or communicating of a unique selling proposition or unique selling point, to your audience, and that in that way you differentiate yourself from the competition. That is the dictionary meaning. Now, the real break it down meaning is branding is a promise. Branding is a relationship. I repeat, branding is a promise. Branding is a relationship. What do I mean? When a business says, for instance, our very good partners, Fidelity, they keep their word. That is a promise. Fidelity is telling the world that in everything that we do, we will keep our word.
Come what may.
That is what a promise is. Now, branding is a relationship, meaning that if you're in a relationship with someone, you promise the person to love the person, protect the person, provide for the person, be a good company to the person. That is the relationship and the promise that you're keeping in that relationship. Bringing it down to your business through your logo, your tagline, and all these other things, your colors, you are trying, and every day you are communicating this promise of, I will be there for you. I understand what you're going through. I would protect you. This business that we are doing together is not just about the money. I really want your business to grow, or I really want your family to thrive. That is branding. So when you communicate it through all these means, you are actually branding.
Fantastic. Well said. Okay. Now let's make progress. What makes a strong brand?
Awesome. That's an awesome question. You're putting me on the spot.
Fidelity is a strong brand.
Yes,
Fidelity you just mentioned.
Yes.
Now, a layman will be like, or a startup business, or many other random businesses you have around will be like, wait, what makes a strong brand? What do I need to know or do to make a strong brand?
Like I said before, it's a promise.
Yeah.
Now, in making your brand a strong brand, you need to consistently and deliberately communicate your core values. Okay. Communicate what makes you different from the other person. Consistently, continue communicating this thing. That will make you a strong brand. Let's not forget that you need to understand who is my target audience. So from the very first point, once you know who, so for instance, let's break it down. Valentine is coming. We all know that. Now, if you are a business and you want to be a strong brand, who are you communicating to? Whose service or product what service or product are you providing, and who is it targeted to? Once you know that, you will know how to come about the right messaging for that particular audience. You know how to communicate your value for that particular audience. You will know how to reach them at a more emotional way. Another thing I need to say is branding, like strategy, is the how. How do I go about it? How do you go about the things you do? And how does it make me feel? So if I feel a certain way, then that brand is a strong brand. Just the same way, we know that we feel when Fidelity says we keep our word. There's a feeling that we feel. It hits you. So that's a strong brand because of how they do it and how it makes me feel.
Great, great. Now, there's this phrase that I want you to deliberate more that I personally loved when I was researching this second question I just asked. It says, strong brands are therefore desirable and highly attractive. And what came to my mind was someone of the opposite sex.
Very true.
You're a man, a woman.
Yeah.
You're a woman, a guy.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, how does a brand get to that level where just like a man sees a pretty, lady and you start desiring to have that lady for yourself to be your wife and what have you?
Yeah.
How does a brand conceptualize that idea into their brand, the brand itself? Maybe even from the get-go when you were starting the business. How does that mindset? How do you coin that mindset into your memory bank?
It's a deliberate act. So let me take it back to your example of a man and a woman.
Yeah.
As a man, you see a very beautiful girl. You know, this is the woman for me. What do? This is where branding comes in.
Exactly.
Now, I'll break down just simple differences. Branding is how you do it and how it makes me feel. Marketing or advertising is, I am the best guy. When you tell a girl, I am the best guy for you, you're advertising yourself.
True.
When your friends tell her he is the best guy for you, that is PR.
Confirmed.
When the friends tell the lady, oh man, Emeka is the best guy for you, they are doing PR. When I tell her, I am the best guy for you, I'm selling myself. That's advertising. But when I make her feel the right way, and from the things I have done, she now knows, yes, he's the best guy for me. How do I do it? I am there for her. I call her. I send her messages. We go out on dates. Now, the thing you need to understand is when you are branding, you don't have to go all out being so expensive. It's the little things that you do. Like in a relationship, those little messages, those voice notes, those calls, those very romantic things. Just random
special days,
those random drives. Like you're not going anywhere. You're just like, guys, just hop in. Let's just drive and let's just enjoy. So I want to give another example. Like I said before, Valentine is coming. What are you going to do to sell your brand to this lady that you truly love? Are you going to go the normal way of getting the trumpeter and they make noise in her office and she's like, man, guys, you can't do this. My boss will not like
it. But you don't care at that point.
You don't care at that point. Or are you going to go a different route? That's why branding is all about differentiation. Are you going to go a different route whereby you've already booked at several lovely places, and because of COVID, you're not going to go in. So you're just going to take out. So you go to the best place that has the best ice cream, you buy from there, you put it in the car. You get the best place that has the best food, you put this in the car, and you guys just drive around town together, and you can now park at a spot that has very beautiful lighting, and you now talk to her. Trust me, she will never forget how you made her feel. You would separate or differentiate yourself from every other guy that has tried to woo her and just says, oh, come, let's go to the restaurant. She's tired of just going to the restaurant. Yeah. She wants a different type of experience. And that is what branding is all about. So if you want to build a strong brand for your business, you need to understand these things. What do I do and how will I do it differently from the other person? That's how you go about it.
Fantastic. You can see the vibe even here in the studio is picking up. My co-colleagues behind the scene are just smiling because they are clearly getting the gist of what we're talking about. Because remember I said on this show, the informations we give our listeners cuts across both personal individuals and the business itself.
Yeah.
Because before you can talk about the business, it starts from an individual.
Yes.
The idea comes from an individual.
Yes.
So that's why every information we try to bring every week on this program, we see how both personal individuals can benefit from it, and also the brand.
Yeah.
Now let's move over to this next question. How important is brand identity? You talked about it when you were talking earlier, but now let's pick out that word itself. Brand identity. How important it is?
It's super important. It's super important. When a child is born, the child is given an identity from either the christening, the naming ceremony, the child dedication, whatever you call it in your custom or the baptism, whatever it is, that is the day the child is now given an identity.
True.
Now that identity separates that child from all the other children you have or all the other children in the neighborhood. That is important. The same thing happens to your brand. When you create a compelling identity that speaks your message, your core values, and what this brand stands for to this audience. So when you talk about your brand identity, you're talking about having the right persona. Talking about having the right brand voice. Do you want to sound very confident? Do you want to sound very intimate in such a way that your audience would be like, yes, this brand speaks to me. There's a way this brand makes me feel. That's part of your brand identity. Now, let's not forget that the beginning of every brand, or the first touch point of every brand, is the name. So your name has to be unique. You must have a name that pretty much, I tell people this, 3 things your name must do for you. 1, it must be an identifier. 2, it must be a positioning statement. And 3, it must have an emotional connection. So that name must have an emotional connection. It must be a positioning statement. So when you say, from the name fidelity, the root word of fidelity is keeping your word. It's being trustworthy. It's being reliable. So when you use a word like that, you're already telling me that you will keep your word. You will be trustworthy. You will be reliable. So that it's important that you have the right name, the right colors, the right logo, the right personality and tone of voice. That way you have a very good brand identity.
Wow. Great. Now, this brings me to the next question. How do you develop a brand?
Amazing. I've been doing this for years, and each project is different.
Step by step. Develop your brand.
Okay, guys, please get your pens and papers. Make sure you're writing this down, because branding is not just for your business, it's also for yourself. Research has shown that over 80% of audience or the market will buy from brands that have a personality behind it. So if you are the one running the business, the moment you put your personality behind your brand, meaning the moment you let the world know that, oh yeah, this is the person behind this brand, this is what we do, we stand for this, your sales would most likely, 8 out of 10 people will most likely buy from you. It's proven and it's very true. That is why on the streets of IG and Twitter, we don't just buy randomly. We want to know who is behind this brand, so that my money no go enter missed call. Voicemail, you know, that kind of thing. So the step-by-step ways of creating a brand. The very first thing, what will this brand be all about? Who are you? Like, what are we doing here? What are we all about? The second thing, who are we sent to? Who is our target audience? Is it single ladies between 18 to 35? Is it single matured ladies 35 and above? Is it teenagers? Is it retirees? Who is this brand for? Is it whatever, millennials, Gen Z, whatever you want to call it? That's the third thing. The fourth thing, I've mentioned name, I've mentioned who this brand is sent for. Your core values. What's holding this brand? What puts this brand together? Because there is no brand without core values. You can't date a guy if the guy doesn't resonate his core values to you. Is he trustworthy? Is he time conscious? Does he have integrity? Is he good with money? What are the things does he control his anger? Those are the things that are core values. Is he family oriented? You need to know those are core values. When you look at the guy and say, this guy is not the type of guy that works with my values, I need to jackpot, then you jackpot. But as a business, you need to have core values. You need to have the right name. You need to know who you are sent to. Then you now go down to things like what colors will communicate my message. When you use colors like green, you're telling us that it's all about growth. Our brand is about growth. I want to grow your business. I want to grow your family. Green means growth. It means freshness. It means nurturing. When you use things like red, you're telling us that you're exciting, that you have passion.
Firebrand.
Yeah, firebrand. You have energy. That's what red is telling us. When you use things like orange is telling us you're full of ideas. You're creative. That's what orange is telling us. When you use colors like blue, you're saying you're innovative. You're futuristic. Those are things. So your colors, your name, who you are sent to, your payoff or your tagline will tell us we keep our word. Will tell us this is the type of brand I want to work with. They always keep their word. So those are the things that you use to. Then let's not forget your touch points. How are you using your social media? Do you have a website? Do you have a landing page? Do you have a sales funnel? What are you doing to get in contact with us, your audience? Those are the ways that you create a brand. Let's not forget, you are communicating a promise across all these channels. Yeah. That is what you are doing.
Fantastic. Now, Emeka, let me even throw this small follow-up question to this some of the comments you just listed. Now, all through my sojourn with my interviews with different business owners and different brands, I've met a few business owners who tell me things like, I don't like being on the forefront. I like just being behind the scene, let my people do their things. Now, in line with what you just said, which I totally agree with, what would you say to such business owners who still haven't jumped into the bandwagon of knowing that they should always learn to be at the forefront of selling their brand to the general public? Because, as you rightly said, people out there want to know who is behind this brand.
Yes.
I mean, I see this brand every now and then, but I don't. Who runs this company? Who owns this business?
Exactly.
So, what would you say to such individuals who have that mindset?
Okay. There's a quote by Zig Ziglar. He
Yeah.
says, when people like you, they follow you.
True.
When people trust you, they do business with you. When people like you, they follow you. We're good, we're buddies. But when I trust you, I do business with you. What does that mean? Branding is people buy from people. For you to buy from a business, you buy from people. And for you to buy from that person, you need to trust that person. Branding builds trust. So when you put your personality behind your brand, you are telling us that you are trustworthy, that we can identify with you, that this is the guy. Just like the other big names that we know of, the telecoms person and the cement person, which I don't want to mention the name so that I don't get an invoice. But the telecoms person and the cement person, we know that this is the person behind this brand.
Yep.
So you need to put your personality behind the brand. You need to build trust. No matter how good your product or service is, if I don't know that you are the one behind it, I will not do business with you. So guys, please, MD, CEO, founder, you need to put yourself behind your brand, because people want to connect
With you.
It's very, very important. That way you will build trust, you grow loyalty, and you would make more money.
Fantastic. Let's continue this discussion. It's been great so far. And I mean, all the information you've been sharing, the analogy you've been giving, even with conventional relationship between the man and the woman, perfectly fits what we're talking about.
Yes, thank you.
Now let's progress. Let's go to the advantages of having a good brand. Why is branding important? Why is it important?
It's like when they say in all you're getting, get understanding. Like that's like what branding is. Branding is basically the understanding the market, because branding helps you differentiate yourself. That's like I call it, I've been in marketing communication for over 15 years, and I say branding
we already have a caller.
Is strategy
Let's
within
take
strategy.
this call. Oh, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Williams. My name is Debbie, and I'm calling from Cement.
Good morning, Madam Debbie. Nice to have you on the program this morning.
Thank you so much for continuing this topic in branding. But I have a question for Mr. Emeka.
Please go ahead.
Why do people like to patronize cheap brands as against well-established brands that possess the name, the core value, like trust, and have stood the test of time?
Good question. Very good question. Thanks for that question. Emeka, let's pick it up from there.
Thank you so much for that question. That's a very good one. I would say this: it is not how much you know, it is how much you show. If the established brand is not showing up, if the established brand is not communicating to me in the language that I understand, if the established brand is not meeting me at my touch point, I do not know them. So it's not how much you know, it is how much you show. So what happens is, sometimes you need to understand the consumer journey and how the consumer gets in contact with your brand. If the consumer is somebody, so let's give a typical example, Lagos. Bosley, Lagos, you enter the bus, you move from one point to the other, you get down from one bus stop, you move to the next bus stop, and before you need to take a keke and you get home. That is typical Lagos. Do you know that in that journey, I might not have seen the established brand, but everything around me, from the guy hawking in the window to the sticker on the kekes, on the keke to even at my bus stop, I will keep seeing the other supposed not established brand. What do you expect me to do? I will buy what I see. So it's not how much you know, it is how much you show. But when you keep showing up at the different touch points of your target audience, they have no other choice. They will remember you. That's why they call it top of mind awareness. They will have top of mind awareness of your brand, and they will buy from you.
Fantastic. Now let's pick it up from what you were discussing earlier. Why is branding important?
Awesome. So, like I was saying, branding to me is strategy within strategy, because the essence of marketing is marketing communication. So it's you're communicating, you are selling while communicating. The essence of branding is differentiation. So for you to differentiate yourself from the other person, you need to understand strategy. And strategy is basically how. How do I do it differently? Let's not forget that you're not the only one in that business.
Of course.
So you're not the only person that sells shoes. You're not the only one that bakes cakes. You're not the only one that makes clothes. But how do you differentiate yourself from the others? Very simple things. How do you do it? Do you package it? Do you write a love note or a thank you note? But while others will take number sticky note and write it handwritten, you have gone a step further by branding yours. That is by creating a specialized note, and you now handwrite that note. When I look at it, I see your logo, I see your number, I see your social media handles. I will keep it. What do you do? How do you package your goods? How do you relate with your customers? That is branding. Branding will teach you, will even influence your messaging and your language. So when someone calls you on the phone, what do you say? Do you say, or when you send a broadcast, when you send message or email, do you greet them with so much excitement that they can feel it from your message? Oh, good morning, champion. Good morning, great one. Whatever it is that you greet them or you communicate to them, they would feel that is your brand. Because what is your brand doing? Your brand is keeping that relationship of making the audience feel very special, making the audience feel that, yes, I am there for you, and creating a personality for them. That is why super brands even have, like, what do you call this thing? They have like subsets. So a super brand will call everybody. So I want to give an example. It's football. I hope I don't get fined. So Manchester City call themselves the Citizens. Manchester United call themselves the Red Devils. Liverpool say never walk alone. Why do you think they say that? That is differentiating themselves from other clubs within the same league. They call themselves, Manchester United call themselves the Reds.
Yeah.
Are they the only ones that wear red?
Nope.
Manchester City call themselves the Citizens. Are they the only ones that wear blue or have City behind them?
It's an English Premier League.
It's an English Premier League. So, but what they do is, that is strategy. You are differentiating yourself. So today, what I want to leave you with, I want you to understand this. If you want to differentiate yourself from every other person, you have to be deliberate. The way you communicate, the message you send, the way you pick up the phone, the way you end the call, the way you start the conversation, the way you write the note, the way you package your product or service has to be different from every other person. The way your shop or your store or your business looks, the look and feel is part of your branding. It's part of your core values. If you want to show that you are innovative, does your sitting arrangement or your furniture, does it communicate innovation? If you want to say that you are simple, does it communicate simplicity? If you want to say that you are, you are loving and you're nurturing, does it show that you are loving and you're nurturing? Those are the things that you are communicating. Let's not forget, we talked about core values. We talked about keeping a promise. So that means you are telling me every day that I get in contact with your brand, you always leave me with a sense of safety, or leave me with a sense of being loved, or leave me with a sense of innovation, or leave me with a sense of being smart. That is why when you use some of these phones, the guys that have a different type of operating system always make the people that use them feel that they're the smartest people in the world.
Yeah.
That is branding.
Fantastic.
It is not just the phone. It is the way the phone makes me feel and the way the brand has been positioned in my mind.
Fantastic. Now, I want to do a quick additional follow-up to what you just said now, and I want to have your input on it. What role? Interestingly, we've discussed this topic some weeks ago with the guest I had then. What role does customer care those front desk people you meet when you go to a brand's office or when you call, those people that pick up your call, what role do they play in the overall brand packaging of a business?
They play a very key role. I've heard stories where the MD of a very big organization, as sometimes he does rotation and you find him at the front desk. There is nothing like a second first impression. There's nothing. There's only a first impression. You have to get that first impression right the very first time. We are human beings. We are moved by what we feel and what we see. So when I walk into your organization, if your front desk, if your store clerk, if you're in a coffee shop, the person, the attendant speaks to you, "Good morning, sir. I hope you're having a great day." I will feel good about myself because of the way he greeted me.
Yeah.
If the gentleman or the lady is properly and neatly dressed, I will feel that your business pays attention to detail. People that dress well pay attention to detail. It takes a lot for you to sit down and start picking out the right outfit for the right occasion. It takes a lot. Ladies can attest to that. So when you pick out the right outfit, you're properly dressed. That means you pay attention to detail. That means in my business, you will pay attention to me.
That's good.
When you now tell me, you can easily communicate to me the products or the services that you have. So for instance, you can say, "Sir, this is a tip I want to give you." You can go there and say, "Oh, good morning, sir. I hope you're having a fantastic day. How can I be of service to you?" "Okay, I'm not sure of the coffee or the drink I want." You say, "Sir, may I suggest?" You say, "Sir, it's a hot Tuesday, or it's a hot Wednesday afternoon, or it's a hot Wednesday morning, which is not so regular. You know what? We have this special drink that would help you. It's the cold, or this on rocks, or this on this." That way, you understand my journey. You understand me, that I am coming in from a hot place, and you are providing a solution for me, specific to me. And guess what? You made me feel well. So that means that brand has good core values of teamwork. That brand has good core values of, they have empathy. So they are compassionate about their customers. So when they come, their customers walk in, they speak to them in the right language. They don't just say, "We have like one number, here's our menu." Don't do that. Don't just toss the menu at the person. Suggest, "Sir, I see that you are properly dressed, or you came in with someone. Do you mind if I suggest?" You propose, and guess what? In doing that, you can even upsell. You can make more money. So the person that came there on all he wanted to do was buy water or buy just a glass of juice. Now you can upsell the person to buy more because of what? Your brand. So branding is very important. Another thing you need to notice, branding helps you position yourself correctly in the mind of your audience. I repeat, branding helps you position yourself correctly in the mind of your audience. So your audience will see you in a particular way. So like what someone said, the last caller said, "Oh, Mr. Williams, thank you so much for this topic."
Yeah.
That means Mr. Williams has been showing up, keeping his promise of bringing quality speakers, quality guests, having a very engaging and interactive show. He has kept that promise over and over and over again, that the audience now know that it's at the position in their mind that when it comes to listening to the right business show on Wednesday at Hot FM, I will Thursday at Hot FM, I will tune in to Mr. Williams' show, Financial Matters. That is what branding does. It positions you right in the mind of your audience.
Fantastic. Well said. Oh, we're coming to the home stretch of today's program, but I can't go without asking what Emeka Ebeniro is doing at the moment. Who are you in relationship with presently, and what do you guys do there, so that the listeners know more on maybe how to even get in touch with you and your brand?
Okay, so guys, thank you so much. My name is Emeka Ebeniro. Like the way I usually introduce myself, you can call me Play Emeka. My friends call me Fire Emeka. Like I said, I'm a personal brand fixer and also head of content and digital at Connect Nigeria. That's platform branding, and we do amazing branding there. We're building one of the biggest portals in Africa where you can have actionable information. So you just go to our website, www.connectnigeria.com, and you can get actionable information. What does that mean? If you need somebody to help you with something, type in there, you get it. If you need to find a job, type in there, you get it. If you need to get a good car deal, type in there, you get it. If you need to find a house or you want to buy a property, type it in there at Connect Nigeria and you will find it. And you can connect with me personally at Play Emeka across all social media platforms. You can get me on Instagram, send me a DM. I'll help you. I do so many things. I help people with their brands. I build powerful, profitable brands. So send me a DM. I can even give you a free personal brand workbook where you can use that to start your journey into personal brand. So just send me a DM and I'm there for you.
Now, platform branding that you mentioned, do you guys cater for just small businesses, or who are your clientels?
We range from small to big businesses. The truth is we are mostly focused at big businesses. But thanks to the founder, Mr. Emeka Okafor, and he has a very big heart for small businesses because he believes that the future of every nation lies in the small businesses. So we have packages for small business. We even have ad packages for small businesses on Connect Nigeria. But platform branding, as our name, you can check us out, platform branding. We basically deal with the big boys, but we still love the small guys. So please do not be afraid. Go into our DM at platform branding. Tell us, what you want to do, and let's help you on that journey.
Fantastic. Now, Emeka, on a final note, let me throw this question in. What is brand strategy? You use the word strategy a number of times in some of your narrative. Now, let's hit it personally, direct, the nail on the head. What is brand strategy?
So brand strategy is basically your it's like a long-term plan. It's like, okay, it's a long-term plan that is part of your overall organizational strategy.
Okay.
Let me explain. So it's a long-term plan. So you're saying let's say in the next 5 years, you want to be the household name in that particular industry. That is part of your whole organizational strategy. That is in terms of billings, in terms of revenue, in terms of assets, in terms of everything that manpower, whatever it is, you want to be the biggest in 5 years.
Yeah.
Now, that's your overall organizational strategy. Now, the branding, how do you use your right messaging, the right brand personality, the right tone of voice, the right touch points, use your website, your sales funnel, and all these things to get you to that point. That is what branding is. So a right brand strategy is a long-term plan that clearly communicates these values, this promise to the target audience. So it's not, like I said, it's a relationship. So it's a daily thing. It's like leadership. They say there's a law called the law of process. So they say leadership is formed daily, not in a day. So it means every day that you send out that message, that you work on your messaging, that you work on your colors, your brand, and all these other things, and you keep moving and communicating that right and unique message every day. You are building in the right direction of this overall plan. So you can even have smaller KPIs that, okay, at the end of each month, we want to get feedback from our customers in terms of how our service is, in terms of how our messaging connects. So you can send out questionnaires, surveys, or whatever it is, and you can get feedback. That would help you tweak and retweak your message. It could be a case whereby your name sounds this way, but has another meaning. So like your name could be, so for instance, your name could be like your name is Uzomba, but somebody can call it Uzomba. So now your audience can be calling Uzomba, and you keep telling yourself, but it is Uzomba. Do you know that can make you change the way you pronounce it, because that is what the audience
I used to,
and you just stick to that. So that is very important in building towards that long-term plan and even your brand. So you could wake up tomorrow morning and change the way it is pronounced, change the way it is looked, change the color, and everybody's like, oh, what's going on here? This looks really exciting. I need to jump on this. So that's part of your brand strategy.
Fantastic. Wow. What a day it's been. What a day it's been. Now, Emeka, in some closing remark, let's do a recap. Let's do a quick recap of all the points you've itemized so far.
Yeah.
Give us a quick rundown recap on all the various points that we
Okay.
discussed this morning.
All right. Thank you so much. So I started by saying that first you need to know what this brand is all about.
Yeah.
So I started a shoe business. What type of shoes do I want to do? Okay, I know the type of shoes I want to do. Second, I know the audience. Who do I want to sell this type of shoes to? Okay, I want to sell it to working class men or working class women or students. That's the third thing. I want to understand what messaging would connect with this audience. So it could be, be lit. When you hear things like be lit, you already know the type of audience you're coming.
Yep.
When you hear things like stay classy or be classy, you already know the type of. So your messaging speaks about the audience that you're communicating it to. That's the third thing that you're going to do. The fourth thing you're going to do, you want to talk about the colors. What kind of colors will speak or help this messaging or help this brand connect with this particular audience? You choose those colors. Then you choose the right typography. So we're talking about your logos, your icons. You choose your fonts that would speak. So when they see, they're like, oh, this is hot, like Hot FM, like, oh, this is hot, this is fiery. Definitely these guys will give me just hot, everything hot. That is it. So you do that. The next thing you want to do is, you now need to build the right plan around all these touch points that you've created. So in building that plan, what will be the journey? How would you make me feel? Where would you direct me to? Are you going to build a website? Are you going to work harder on your social media page? Then also, are you going to put your personality behind the brand so that I can trust you? Like I said, when people like you, they follow you. But when they trust you,
they're willing to give you any amount.
Give you any amount of business. So do you need to put your personality behind it? So that way they will trust you. Now, once you've built trust, the next thing is trust now becomes loyalty. So even when you do not advertise, I will still buy from you.
Yeah.
I give an example. Elon Musk. One tweet says, I think I like Etsy. It's an app. It's a platform where creators meet. One tweet, the stock moved up. One tweet. That means he has built his brand and he's so credible that everything he says, whether he's intentional or not intentional, people listen to it and they buy. Now, we all know that he's the richest man, or valued to be the richest man in the world. So that is the power of branding. Another thing we need to understand that the Tesla brand sells more from branding and less from marketing. They spend more on branding and less for marketing. The same thing for the Apple guys. They sell more on branding and less on marketing. Yeah. While others will tell you, go ahead and do social media ads and all that. Please, as much as you're going to do that, you need to clean up your house. Do you have the right content? Do you have the right messaging? Do you have the right colors? Are you speaking to a person in particular, or are you speaking to a crowd? Yeah. When you speak to a crowd, you speak to nobody. When you speak to a particular person,
likelihood of getting the person
you get that person. So that is it. So once you've done that, then you will now say, yes, my brand is strong. I'm building the right brand. Then I now need to amplify it. That's where advertising comes in. That's where paid promotion comes in. You amplify this strength, this messaging, these colors, these core values. That's what you do. So those are the things that you need to understand. Branding is the heart of everything a business is. Beyond the financials, you need to build a solid brand. Branding would help you increase your billings because you have a strong brand. Your perception has increased. So now when you come out and say, this my shoe that I was saying last year, 2020 is gone. I was selling the shoe maybe 18K. This is 2021. My brand has elevated. Some top people in society have worn this shoe. This 18K shoe, I'm selling it for 32K. Do you know that people will beg you to sell it to them at 35K? It's branding. It's perception. You have been able to build and communicate that value so much so that somebody that is an influencer has bought into your brand and has used it, and his or her followers have seen you and they're not like, whoa, this brand must be powerful. I need to get it. That is it. So it is less of advertising. It is more of branding.
Beautiful. Now, I'm so tempted to throw in this in the local world, this Jara question.
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Now, in very quick succession, because we're almost time spent.
Yeah.
How would you advise the government, quote unquote, both states and federal, to buy into this concept of branding?
Fantastic.
Some of them up there don't believe that even the government as an institution is a brand.
Yes, they
packaged.
Yes,
and sold both within and outside.
Yes.
So what would you say to them in very quick, short words?
Quickly. That's pretty much. That's why when you read my profile, you said the convener of the Personal Branding Summit. That's pretty much one of the things we're going to treat at the Personal Branding Summit coming up in February. What they need to understand is branding is not just color logo. It's actually who you are. That who you are is your identity, and that identity would help you communicate yourself as a thought leader. So in politics, in nation building, it is more of the perspective of being a thought leader. If I am a man of repute, a man of integrity, now we are talking about my core values, a man of empathy, I will communicate that through my leadership. So I believe that everybody deserves a fair hearing. Just like they said, a child of a nobody can be somebody without anybody, meaning that you can become whoever you want to be without having a godfather. If that is what you believe in, that is your personal brand. When you put that in government, that means your view as a leader is everybody should get a fair chance.
Fair chance.
Everybody deserves. And do you know what that happens? That means when you go to any parastatal, all you're thinking about is merit.
Merit.
Let the best be there. Let the people competent be there. It's not time about favorism, nepotism. No. It is let everybody, because that is who you really are. Now, how does that translate to us as a nation? We need to know who is Nigeria. What are the values of Nigeria? What are the pillars of Nigeria? What makes Nigeria Nigeria? Why do we call it Nigeria? Not what they told us. What does Nigeria mean to us? What does Nigeria mean to us? That way, we build a solid brand called Nigeria.
Fantastic. Wow, Emeka, it's been a very, very insightful discussion this morning.
Thank you so much.
To say special thank you to you for making our time to be on the program this morning. And I hope when next we reach out to you, you avail yourself.
I'm available. Play Emeka is available.
Good. Well, viewers, listeners, that's the lot we can take this morning. I have been discussing with Mr. Emeka Ebeniro, a brand strategist with over 15 years experience. And as you heard, he's already given us his contact details and the present brand that he's working with at the moment. So please feel free to reach out to him for more information on how to improve your personal brand or your business as a whole.